It tells the story of Yotititzun, who came into their world and shaped it for what life might come. She had a hard journey, fraught with great loss and peril, but she believed in her children and what they might achieve. And though she is long gone from the physical world, her eyes still watch over us, her ears still hear our words, her hands still guide us, and her love still gives us strength. Ganhezio, July 1755. Hello, I'm Andrew, and I want to welcome you to Visions of the Past, a podcast all about the lore of Assassin's Creed. This is episode 71, and today we're going to talk about the cave paintings in Assassin's Creed Rogue and tell the legend of the Sky Woman. The legend of the Sky Woman was presented in Assassin's Creed Rogue in the form of 24 cave paintings, found across the American Colonies by Shay Cormac after saving the Orinenda village from Kasigawase in 1757. After saving the village, he spoke with the clan mother, Onata, who told him about the Iroquois legend of the creation of the earth and of good and evil, and that if he followed the path of the Sky Woman, who scattered her wisdom throughout the colonies, he would learn the true history of her people. As Shay found each cave painting, the legend became clearer to him as Onata, voiced by Susan Glover, narrated each cave painting. I want to thank Sonia Kate, Katie103, and Music Man on the official Assassin's Creed Discord server for the conversation that led to the inspiration of today's podcast. And while the paintings could be gathered in any order, the legend within Assassin's Creed states that in the first days of the world, the earth was covered with water. There was no light in the sky, neither sun at day nor stars or moon at night. Under the surface lived the water animals, loon, kingfisher, otter, muskrat. They all lived in darkness. In the sky, the Great Spirit sat beneath the branches of a glowing apple tree with roots that sank into the clouds. One day, the Great Spirit called to his daughter, the Sky Woman. He pulled up the tree so she could look down to the earth. "How can they live in such darkness and chaos?" asked the Sky Woman. The Great Spirit replied, "If you desire, you can bring them light and order." The Great Spirit gathered up the Sky Woman in his hands and gently lowered her down. When he let go, she began to fall slowly towards the earth. The water animals lifted their heads and looked up in wonder at the glowing woman in the sky. "What will happen when she reaches the water?" they asked one another. All the animals dove as deep as they could to find land. None could hold their breath long enough, until finally Muskrat brought up a little bit of earth in its paws. A great turtle arrived, and Muskrat put the earth on his back. The turtle grew, and the earth multiplied until they became a great land, which men now call North America. From beneath the water, the swans flew up to meet the Sky Woman. They caught her and carefully set her down upon the new land. The Sky Woman thanked the animals. "How can I give this land spirit?" she said. She then gave birth to twin sons. The son who was born first was born laughing, and was called the Good Spirit. The son who was born second caused the Sky Woman so much pain that she died. He was called the Evil Spirit. The Good Spirit grieved for his mother, but he took her eyes and raised them into the sky, so one could become the sun and the other the moon. Her tears became the stars. This way, he would no longer be in darkness. The Good Spirit buried what was left of his mother under the earth to nourish the soil. All the trees and plants would grow out of her. Meanwhile, while the Good Spirit worked in the light, the Evil Spirit did mischief within the shadows. The Evil Spirit crossed the land, moving from shadow to shadow. "I will ruin everything my brother has made," he said. And so, when the Good Spirit made strong trees and swift deer, the Evil Spirit made poisonous berries and stinging insects. Finally, the Good Spirit took red clay from the earth and made humans. He taught humans how to speak and live together. The jealous Evil Spirit made himself servants out of sea foam. The Good Spirit saw that his creations heeded his words and were capable of wisdom. He wished that they might live forever in harmony. The Good Spirit saw the mischief that his brother did and knew that even his help would not be enough. He told his brother to stop making trouble, but the evil spirit refused. Knowing that his brother would respect only violence, the good spirit reluctantly challenged the evil spirit to combat. The winner would rule the world. The good spirit and his people united and triumphed over the evil spirit. He banished his brother to a cave beneath the earth. On the surface, though, some of the evil spirit's servants still wandered from shadow to shadow. Their influence causes men to do evil things. This is why there is still evil in the world, but people can also cast out this evil and find the good spirit within. All people can choose the path they follow. Historically, this story was told from generation to generation and was not written down until Europeans came to North America and heard the myth. Because of this, there are multiple variations of it. There are variations where the Sky Woman was pushed through a hole that was created when the Great Spirit pulled up a great tree by the roots because he was angry about her being pregnant. Some where the Sky Woman created the air and stars with dust, and some showed that instead of giving birth to the twins herself, she gave birth to a daughter who then went on to give birth to the twins. Even with the details being different, the general idea of the story is the same, and the differences within the story are a great example of how information from the Isu Era changed the further that it got from when it happened. While the cave paintings in Rogue is where we get the full story of the Sky Woman, this is not the first time we've heard the tale. It was first mentioned in Assassin's Creed 3 when Haytham Kenway asked Ganizio what the cave painting on the entrance to the Grand Temple means, and she told him the story of Yotititzun. When we first heard the story in Assassin's Creed 3, it seemed like the story was talking about Juno, and when it expanded on in Rogue, it only felt like it was expanding the story. At the time, Yotititzun, the Sky Woman, and Juno felt like they were all the same person because of Juno's presence in Assassin's Creed 3 and her continued story. When looking at it this way, it seems that Juno was seen by the Iroquois as one of their gods, and that she was involved in the creation of the human race. It wasn't until Assassin's Creed Odyssey introduced Project Anthropos that we learned more about how the humans were created, and in Assassin's Creed Valhalla that the project was overseen by Yaldabaoth, Sakalis, and Samael. This revelation, along with the interview with Valhalla's narrative director Darby McDevitt, where he stated that the Isu civilization is much broader than we know, changes the perspective on the Sky Woman legend from what we thought we knew. Looking back at the myth of the Sky Woman now that we have this information, we know that the project that created humans started about 30 years before the birth of Juno, making it unlikely that the legend of the Sky Woman is a myth about Juno, though it is not out of the realm of possibility with how many generations the story would have passed through. It seems most likely to me, though, with the changes of the lore, that we'll find out that Yotititzun will turn out to be an Isu that lived within North America, and most likely worked on Project Anthropos. But this brings into question things about Project Anthropos. Was it laid out like the project to stop the Toga catastrophe, where multiple teams came up with solutions and sent them to the Grand Temple for testing? Or was the project spread across the world, allowing for the creation of different human cultures and languages? Is the Sky Woman actually Yotititzun, or could she even be Yaldabaoth, Sakalis, or Samael? The way that the lore has been expanding in the last few years, it definitely shines a new light on these older pieces that seemed at the time to be small and insignificant to series history. While I think it's unlikely we return to these older pieces like the Sky Woman, our perspectives on them have shifted, making us ask new questions about what we think we know about the series. But what do you think about the legend of the Sky Woman, and how could it tie into the new revelations from Odyssey and Valhalla? Let me know on Twitter at visions_AC. Thank you for joining me today. Be sure to tune in every Tuesday for new episodes. If you love stories about Assassin's Creed lore, please subscribe and tell your friends about this podcast. If you have any questions about Assassin's Creed or topics you'd like me to cover, please feel free to hit me up on Twitter and Instagram at visions_AC. and you'll find those links in the show notes below. Until next time, my assassin friends, make sure to follow the creed, and to those Templars listening, may the Father of Understanding guide you.